What's up, YouTube? This is Mouthos97 and welcome to episode number 40 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. This is the go-home episode of SmackDown before the WrestleMania Pay-Per-View. And let's take a look at the match card. We've got Ryback, the Intercontinental Champion, taking on Darren Young in singles competition as both men prepare for the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania. Summer Rae will go one-on-one with Natalya. Of course, Summer Rae, the #1 contender for the Divas Championship, she'll be facing Brie Bella at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes defeats Justin Gabriel in singles competition, so Rhodes picking up a crucial victory heading into the Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. Tyson Kidd defeats Xavier Woods and William Regal in a triple threat matchup, so Kidd getting some momentum heading into WrestleMania, heading into the post-WrestleMania sort of section of Universe Mode. The Usos defeat Los Matadores, and in the main event, Bad News Barrett and Sheamus are going to team up, combine forces, to take on the team of Edge and the World Heavyweight Champion Christian. And we'll get into the story for that when the match does come about. But first off, we're kicking off the show with Ryback, the Intercontinental Champion, who has just been on a path of destruction ever since winning the Intercontinental Championship back at SummerSlam. I mean, just look at the list of opponents Ryback has, who is defeated in his wake. I mean, you've got Christian, Curtis Axel, Randy Orton, Titus O'Neil, Cody Rhodes, Big Show, and perhaps Darren Young could be added to that list next. As Ryback, he's already defeated Cody Rhodes, of course, back in Elimination Chamber in a one-on-one matchup. And last week, Ryback defeated Titus O'Neil in singles competition. So Darren Young is the one opponent in tonight's, in WrestleMania's Fatal 4-Way match that Ryback hasn't, they're going to face off here tonight prior to WrestleMania. Maybe Darren Young can be the one who can actually defeat Ryback. But if Ryback wins here, well then he can say that he's defeated all of his opponents in singles competition. And that's just how Ryback's title reign has been. He's just been dominating everybody in the Intercontinental Championship division. They even brought some of the main eventers down to challenge him in the past. But, that still doesn't really mean that Ryback's going to win at WrestleMania. Just because he can defeat all of his opponents in singles competition doesn't mean that he's guaranteed to win the Fatal 4-Way. Because it's a Fatal 4-Way. Ryback doesn't even have to be pinned or submitted to lose the title. And now look at this, Ryback with a camel clutch locked in. Well, we don't see submission holds too often from Ryback, but he's definitely got to expand his arsenal if he's going to be going into a matchup like a Fatal 4-Way. So, I mean, for example, let's say Darren Young pins Titus O'Neil. Well, then Darren Young's the new Intercontinental Champion. Ryback was not involved in the decision. So Ryback, he's really going to have to watch his back, and he's going to have to, he really has to have his head on a swivel. He's got to be, almost looking 180 degrees at all times. Well, 360 degrees, what am I saying? But, I mean, Ryback, he has to have, eyes in the back of his head. He has to know what's going on at all times, and that's just, is not possible. So Ryback, the chances that he loses the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania are higher than they've ever been before. I mean, it's one thing to it's one thing to defend your title in a one-on-one matchup where you are in control of the outcome all the time. I mean, even if you lose, you still are involved in the decision. But in a Fatal 4-Way environment, you don't have to be in the decision to win or lose the match. So, Ryback, I'm sure he's been preparing himself. He's been training rigorously this past month to really get himself prepared for this Fatal 4-Way environment. Because this is a whole new challenge for Ryback, something he hasn't faced before. And then we look at Darren Young, who is coming off the Elimination Chamber loss to his former tag team partner, Titus O'Neil. So we're still, Darren Young, he's probably not 100% focused, I would say. I don't think he's really still in the right mindset. I think that Titus O'Neil's betrayal still probably has to be lingering in the back of his mind and could serve as a distraction. So Darren Young, when it comes to WrestleMania, he's going to have to put that behind him. If he wants to win the Intercontinental Championship, then he's going to have to keep his frustrations with Titus O'Neil under control. But then again, is Darren Young really there to win the Intercontinental title? Or is he just there to screw Titus O'Neil out of the championship? That could very well be the case. And if that is the case, then, you know, that might just play into Ryback's favor that much more. But at the moment, Darren Young, you know, both of these superstars got to be careful. They can't afford an injury heading into WrestleMania, whether it's a minor injury or a major injury. It doesn't matter. You don't want to have any weakness heading into the pay-per-view. And, of course, you definitely don't want to show your opponents any sign of weakness as well. I mean, say if Ryback gets like a leg injury in this matchup or something. It's Ryback, he can't afford to let that show. So he's just going for the meat hook clothesline there, but Darren Young countered with an arm drag. And Darren Young now, he's looking to put Ryback out. Going for the gut check here. He's got Ryback up on his shoulders, but Ryback just slips out of it. Counters into a DDT. And at the moment, Ryback now regaining control. Darren Young counters though with a nice knee right to the gut of Ryback. And now look at this. Belly-to-belly suplex by Darren Young. But he's down on a knee. You can tell that this match has taken a lot out of him. I mean, Ryback, he's definitely got the size, the strength advantage. But Darren Young, you know, he does. I think Darren Young, he's one of the most hardest working superstars in you know, on the SmackDown roster. I mean, they don't call him Mr. No Days Off for no reason. I mean, he's constantly in the gym training, preparing himself, trying to make himself better. Look at Ryback, though. Ryback with a DDT onto the apron. And that's good night, Darren Young. Ryback may have just put Darren Young out for good here. His lights are... He just shut the lights out on Darren Young here. Darren, he's somehow making it back to his feet, but, I mean, I don't think anybody's home up there. I think Ryback just knocked Darren Young for a loop. And now look at Ryback here, just a military press into a power... Well, not into a power slam, but just into a slam there. And Ryback now, meat hook clothesline! And that's it. He just decapitated Darren Young, and off that apron DDT, I don't think Darren ever really recovered. Covered by Ryback. 1, 2, 3. Ryback, a dominant victory over Darren Young here tonight. And that's just one more statement made to the other two participants at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes and Titus O'Neil had to be watching that match very closely. And Ryback just sending them a message that Ryback, he is still the most dominant competitor here on SmackDown, and he is not going to lose that Intercontinental Championship anytime soon. Not at WrestleMania, not at Extreme Rules, not ever. Ryback, he is not going to lose that Intercontinental Championship. He has proven that over the past several months that you're going to have to kill this man if you want to win the Intercontinental Championship. At least that's what Ryback thinks, but that's the danger of Fatal 4-Way. They don't have to kill Ryback to win. I mean, they can just simply throw Ryback out of the ring and pin somebody, and that's it. So Ryback, you know, while he is going to be nearly impossible to defeat, he doesn't have to be defeated. So Ryback, his Intercontinental Championship, despite the fact that Ryback is looking as dominant as ever, perhaps the most dominant he's ever looked in his entire career. But that really doesn't make too much of a difference in a Fatal 4-Way matchup. But now it's time we move on to this matchup here tonight. Summer Rae versus Natalya. And, you know, from what we've seen between these two in the past, this should be an epic contest to perhaps foreshadow what could go down at WrestleMania. As Summer Rae, you know, she's got to look impressive here tonight heading into the championship match with Brie Bella at WrestleMania. But if Natalya gets the win here, she can almost play the role of spoiler. She can shut down the momentum of Summer Rae and really give Brie Bella the advantage heading into the matchup. Nice scoop slam there by Summer Rae. And of course, this matchup, this isn't going to be a one-sided confrontation. From what we've seen in the past between these two, I mean, they faced off twice before. So, I would think that... Oh, wait a minute, look at this. Oh, what a drive-by kick to the head of Natalya. Well, at least when I mean, they faced off twice before, you know, following the Royal Rumble. Well, leading up... In 2K15, they faced off twice before. And both those matches have been very back and forth. Although Summer Rae has been the victor of both of those contests. But really, the rivalry between Natalya and Summer Rae goes back a while. You can take it back all the way to Survivor Series, where on the pre-show there was the Divas Survivor Series tag team matchup where Summer Rae and Oksana defeated Lita and Natalya, although Summer Rae was the first competitor eliminated in that tag team matchup. Still. Actually, no, she wasn't. I believe Natalya was the first eliminated. I don't know. I gotta go back and watch that, actually, to figure that out. But I know it was one of these two. And if I recall correct, I believe Summer Rae even eliminated Natalya in that matchup. But anyway, I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. And I'm just gonna drop the topic there to avoid ruining another match commentary like I did the NXT Showcase one. Really, I'm very disappointed with how that commentary was, because I was too busy trying to come up with exposition, trying to think of a story, didn't really talk about the match at all. So that was, if there was ever a moment in Universe Mode where I think, you know, I would want to go back and redo something, that would be it, because I just feel like I really just messed up that commentary. But as we take a look now, Summer Rae going for a DDT, counter by Natalya, into a side Russian leg sweep. And here's Natalya, leg drop across the face of Summer Rae. And now Summer Rae delivers a nice kick to the gut. And of course, Brie Bella, she's going to be watching this matchup very closely. And this is a good opportunity for Brie to kind of study Summer Rae, study her offense, study her techniques, and get a good idea as to what Summer Rae is going to be bringing to the table at WrestleMania. But Natalya at the moment, still looking pretty good. She's got her own fair share of offense in here. And perhaps, if Natalya gets a win over Summer Rae here, we could perhaps see Natalya be the next challenger for the Divas Championship. I mean, I would think this would put her next in line, right behind Summer Rae. So that following WrestleMania, no matter who wins, I mean, especially if Summer Rae would win, because then Natalya would have bragging rights. She could say, hey, I defeated you when you weren't the Divas Champion, therefore, you know, I've got the win, therefore, I'm deserving of the next title match. So I don't know. But at the moment, Summer Rae, after delivering that leg drop to the sternum, could be about to put Natalya away here with that vicious kick to the face. And good night, Natalya. That knocked her lights out good. 2 count. Summer Rae gets the win here tonight over Natalya and sends a message to Brie Bella heading into WrestleMania. Summer Rae cashing in her rematch clause, and she's just showing Brie Bella here tonight that she, you know, she's going to give it 100% at WrestleMania. Summer Rae, she wants her Divas Championship back, and she will do whatever it takes to win it back, to reclaim it from Brie Bella. So Brie Bella could be in for the match of her career if Elimination Chamber wasn't, you know, Elimination Chamber, she won the Divas Championship, and she defined herself as a singles competitor in the Divas division. But Brie Bella, this is the most important match of her career. It's WrestleMania, and now's the opportunity she has to prove that she does deserve the Divas Championship, that she didn't just get lucky in a triple threat matchup, that, you know, Brie Bella does deserve to be a fighting champion, and she can and will defend that title at all times. But now, we're going to move on to the main event for this episode, and this one has an interesting development going on behind it. As last week, Wade Barrett faced off against Edge in a one-on-one matchup, and during the match, the Celtic Warrior, this man Sheamus, came down to the ring, and it looked like the odds were against Wade Barrett. It looked like it was going to be a 2-on-1, but then Sheamus attacked Edge, and that shocked all of us. Sheamus attacked Edge and then left, and now it appears as though Sheamus, you know, his attitude has completely changed. And it's like I was saying last week, Sheamus has really been the face of SmackDown for the earliest part of the series. I mean, take you from Extreme Rules all the way up until really about Survivor Series, when Sheamus finally was eliminated from the World Heavyweight Championship scene. Sheamus had always been in the mix. He was either the World Heavyweight Champion or he was gunning for the title. And then, not until Survivor Series, where he lost in the triple threat match against Henry and Jericho, was Sheamus definitively kicked out of the title picture. It wasn't until TLC that the world title was defended in a match that Sheamus was not involved in. And of course, the man in that match was none other than this man, the current world champion, Christian. On that night, he may have been unsuccessful. But then when we fast forward all the way up to the Elimination Chamber, Christian, he did get the win, won the world title. And, you know, Sheamus, he probably resents that a little bit. Not just Christian, but the same goes with Edge. I mean, they both just kind of came back. They were gone for a while, and then, you know, we saw when Edge returned from his injury. Of course, Edge got his arm broken by Alberto Del Rio leading into the SummerSlam pay-per-view, and Edge didn't make his return until the episode of SmackDown before TLC, and he defeated Mark Henry, and that basically put Edge in line for a title opportunity. However, you know, they were unfortunately pulled away from SmackDown to go film episodes of Haven on Sci-Fi. You know, of course, Edge's TV show. Yeah, both he and Christian were both pulled, which was very unfortunate. You know, I guess for the non-kayfabe, they weren't in the game, so I had to come up with some sort of kayfabe excuse. But, you know, kayfabe is dead anyway. According to Triple H, anyway. But, regardless, back to kayfabe. So after that happened, you know, they just kind of came back, and they were just given an opportunity at the Elimination Chamber. And we saw how that went down. Christian won, and Edge, you know, now he's got this opportunity at WrestleMania. It's now a triple threat match between Christian, Edge, and Henry. And Sheamus probably sees that as, you know, Edge and Christian, they haven't been here. Sheamus, I mean, he's been here since day one. He's been carrying this brand to the heights that it has now gotten to. I mean, he really put the SmackDown brand on his back for the early portion of the series. I mean, at the blah, as I'm stumbling here, for at least a good, you know, almost 2/3 of the series so far, Sheamus has really been carrying SmackDown on his back, or at least that's what he may feel. And now Edge and Christian have just kind of stepped in, and they've just almost been handed that spotlight. Sheamus, you know, probably kind of resentful that he's just been kicked to the curb like this after all his work as the face of SmackDown. And now Sheamus, his attitude has just completely changed. He's more aggressive, and, you know, he's definitely got a beef with Edge and Christian. And, of course, Wade Barrett, you know, he was just in the mix. Barrett is probably in the same boat as Sheamus. You know, he's been on SmackDown for quite a while, been gunning for that world title, and now that Edge and Christian are here, Barrett's just kind of been kicked to the side. So Sheamus and Barrett, you know, they both want to get themselves back in the hunt, back in the world title hunt, and they want to, you know, perhaps even want to injure Edge and or Christian here tonight, try to take the spot away from them. And, you know, at WrestleMania, this match could definitely change the complexion of WrestleMania. I mean, if one of these two were to get injured, then, I mean, the main event would be drastically altered. Whether Edge gets injured and it's just a one-on-one match between Christian and Henry, or whether Christian would get injured, then that would take the world champion out of the matchup. So Edge and Christian, almost a fight for survival here tonight. They can't afford an injury heading into WrestleMania. That would definitely, you know, whether it's, like I said earlier, whether it's a minor or major, because those are words. Whether or not it's a minor or a major injuries, regardless, it would, I don't know why I can't talk today, but it would drastically alter the playing field of the triple threat at WrestleMania. And now look at this, Christian tagged in the matchup, and now Christian can get his hands on Sheamus here. Sheamus counters with some elbows to the face. And now Sheamus, you know, it looks like he was going to try to tag out of there. He didn't want any part of Christian. Maybe just playing a little bit of mind games. But Christian now, he's got a hold of Sheamus here. And Christian, you know, trying to fire up the crowd. Trying to get himself hyped as well. It was a nice drop kick. And what the hell? That's the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. What is he doing here? We're in the middle of a tag team match, and Mark Henry, he's making his way down to ringside here. Sheamus delivers a powerbomb to Christian. And Mark Henry's going after it. Mark Henry's going after Edge. Mark Henry, the referee is his back turned, not paying any attention to the action here. I mean, come on, this is a blatant disqualification here. Mark Henry's got Edge, and look at this, spear through the barricade. Mark Henry just picked up Edge and put him through that barricade. And the referee didn't see any of it. This match is still going. Wade Barrett now going after Christian here. And Mark Henry, he's on his way out. Mark Henry, he's just made a statement here tonight. He just put Edge through that barricade, and that's going to take Edge out of this matchup. I don't know if Edge is really going to be able to recover from that. And now, Sheamus and Christian, the two legal participants here right now. Sheamus counters with a kick right to the gut. And now, look at that. That axe handle clothesline punch thing. I don't even know what to call that. And now Sheamus delivers a couple clotheslines to the face. And now look at this. Scoop power slam right there by Sheamus. And Christian's in trouble right now. His partner has just been taken out of the matchup, and the referee didn't see any of it. So this is nothing more than a handicap match at the moment. Sheamus now. He's got Christian up on his shoulders. As Christian's in a lot of trouble now. Look at this. White noise connects by Sheamus. Sheamus goes in the cover. 1, 2, 3. No, Christian kicks out of the last second. Somehow, some way able to keep himself alive in this matchup as Barrett is glitching out. Thanks, game. Thanks for that. And now Sheamus. He's got Christian up against the ropes here, and now it looks like they're all glitching out. Thanks. This is a great way to finish off the main event. Look at this, Christian tossing Sheamus into the corner. Christian now going after Barrett. And now Christian delivers a knee right to the gut of Sheamus. It's a good thing Barrett's not getting disqualified here by the referee, because that would be very anticlimactic. Christian up on the top rope here. But I guess he second guessed himself. Why can I not speak today? And now look at Sheamus here. He's got Christian up. He's looking for the high cross power bomb. And he hits it right there. And that's good night, Christian. Sheamus with the cover. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus gets the pin, gets the win over Christian here tonight. What a victory that is for Sheamus and Barrett. And, you know, this is the final episode before WrestleMania. Don't expect WrestleMania to be out immediately because I still have to work on the promos and whatnot. I actually recorded this commentary in advance, so I know it's not going to be up for a while, so I should be able to work on some of those promos a little bit. And then, of course, with rendering, because rendering time is always bad. It's always super long for pay-per-view videos. So I want to say maybe at the earliest, like a week or two from now. I mean, because it's WrestleMania, it's going to take a lot of work, and especially with the promos as well, because I had to put all the time into the Slammy Awards, so it's going to push it back a little bit more. Although following WrestleMania, I do want to kind of speed up to Extreme Rules just to kind of make up for it. But for now, you're going to have to wait a little bit for the next episode. Try to get another GM mode video up, perhaps, some My Career. And now Sheamus celebrating Barrett as well. What the? Wade Barrett, he's attacking Sheamus here. What is going on? I don't understand this. Wade Barrett setting up Sheamus here, up against the post, and a big boot to the skull of Sheamus. That's it for this episode. We'll have to find out what this means in the next, not even the next episode. We'll find out at some point. Keep on YouTubing.